Pozdrawiam wszystkich widzów TeleVizorni. I did it!
Mam pytanie dla was. Czy wolibyście taki bardzo czysty, ładny, perfekcyjny angielski, czy taki bardzo łamany, taki sobie polski?
Welcome to TeleVizornia channel on YouTube. Tonight we are with a very unique and special artist, MORIAH WOODS at Chmury, based in Warsaw. Nice to see you again.
Yeah, nice to see you.
How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. Yeah, I'm feeling good. And you just said my name beautifully.
Thank you so much. I checked that like I told you before. Okay, you were born in Colorado in the USA.
I wasn't born there, but I lived there from the age of 14 and on. Yeah.
I see. But you have lived actually in Puławy, right?
Yes, I have been there for 8 years.
Why did you choose Poland to live in?
It was completely accidental. It wasn't like I'm gonna go live in Poland and live my Polish dream. You know, it was very accidental. I had an opportunity to come to Poland with my uncle, and at the time I was songwriting and kind of playing, but I was really closed. When I came to Poland, I played one concert in Kazimierz Dolny, exactly 9 years ago, actually. There was something inside of me that kind of felt like maybe the audience doesn't quite understand exactly what I'm saying, and it helped me feel freer to open up and express myself. You know, because it's the way that I process my emotions and the difficult stuff that I've been through or go through or whatever, and. Yeah, so I decided to stay, but it was rather like I guess the short version of it is that I needed to remove everything I've ever known in order to kind of find myself in the end, and Poland happened to be the place where I landed to do that.
I see. Okay, and is there anything you find strange or shocking if it comes to Polish people?
Oh, yeah. Somebody asked me that question the other day, and the first thing that always comes to my mind is... well, strange or shocking. Okay, so...
or unusual.
The alcohol abuse in Poland, which is a really, really, really... Yes, you know what I'm talking about. Because it's a lot more socially acceptable to be... to abuse alcohol a lot more in Poland. Of course, in my country as well, but it's just treated a little bit differently in the U.S. And so I think that this is this was a really big shock for me. Of course, it was very fun because I had some of the best nights of my life partying in Poland, but also some of the worst hangovers too. But yeah, so that was one thing that really surprised me, shocked me. But the other thing is that in the United States, it's just a melting pot of different cultures, and so we don't have any original culture that goes back that far. And so for me, it was fascinating to be able to spend time. I didn't like go to Warsaw and be in the city. I was like living in the countryside. So I was going into like traditional Polish homes and learning how to make ogórki kiszone and drinking bimber, and making pierogi and things like this. So it was, these were the like old traditions that have stayed for so long that I can see like the way that the cold country, the long winters, all of these different things, I can see how it has been represented. It represents how the food has evolved. Like, you've got like 5 ingredients that you make so many different things with, like cabbage and onions and, whatever. So that was really cool for me to be able to see that old tradition that still exists. Yeah.
Do you like Polish cuisine? What do you like the most?
I like it as something... Okay, so let me just tell you honestly, I really don't like it. I really don't like Polish food. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, everybody.
That's not a problem.
But it's kind of true and kind of a lie, because I really love the fermented foods like kapusty kiszone and ogórki kiszone. These are really, really special for me. And Polish know how to make soup and żurek. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
But for me, like the other foods are a bit too heavy for me, but I really like them from time to time, like on holidays and stuff like that. So yeah.
We are all one, and we are one, and we know one, and we are one.
Okay, let's go to music.
Sure.
Yeah, the most important thing. Yeah. What inspires you?
Pain.
Very true. What else?
Connection with people. Okay, I'll elaborate. Yeah, it's been, I think, from a very young age. I come from a history of a lot of trauma. And so my way, I was just very disconnected from people. You know, I grew up in a way that I was needing to defend myself from the world, and I kind of developed all of these defense mechanisms that further on into my life didn't really serve me anymore, but that's how I knew how to interact with the world, which basically left me unable to interact with people. And so my way of trying to find some way, because we all need connection, you know, on some level or another. So my way of interacting with people and feeling comfortable about it was getting totally hammered, getting totally drunk, you know, but the thing that really dug into me the most was music. And that's always been my connection because I started playing the violin when I was 6. And I moved to the the flute when I was 10, 11, and I was really good at it. It was like, for me, it was very, very, like, I just loved knowing that I was really good at something. And that was like the only thing that I felt like I was good at. And that was where I was able to put something of worth of myself. And that was some place that I could go that felt like a home, like I didn't feel like I had anywhere else. As I got older, like around 14, you know, I chopped off all my hair and dyed it black, and I started listening to like punk rock music. and I stopped playing the flute, and I bought myself an electric guitar, and eventually moved to the acoustic because I started hitchhiking around the U.S. and you can't plug a guitar in hitchhiking, so I had an acoustic guitar. And it was, it ended up becoming a place where I could put my pain and that I could make connection with people at the same time and get drunk too, and nobody would bother me. I would bring my guitar to a party, get drunk, play my guitar, and that was my way of making that connection. So the pain and the connection are two very, very important things that inspire me. And of course, it's evolved, you know, really beyond that, because I've taken that to, I've been able to self-reflect about where it all came from, why it all came about, and how I can kind of use that to further connections in a really positive way today. So that's the long version.
Okay, and how did you find your band?
It's so weird because Puławy is just like this little hole. I mean, it's just, I don't know, it's not Warsaw, it's not a major city, but there are so many talented musicians that come out of Puławy. And I know, like, we host the blues workshops and the jazz workshops there. Lots of like world-renowned people come to Puławy and they have workshops and teach and stuff like this. And then there's also, you know, there's the history of Siekiera from Puławy, and that has kind of like stayed as there's still this vibe, sort of this like old punk vibe that exists in Puławy, and I think that somehow the music has stayed there, and somehow it called me, because it's very accidental that I wound up there. And there used to be this old club called Club Oscar, and we would go and just hang out, drink, play music, and I met Michał Głos, my drummer, there, and he's been playing with me now for like 7 years, or almost 7 years, and then the other guys we have collected along the way through different bands and stuff. So yeah, crossing paths through concerts and.
And where do your love and passion for music come from?
I think it, like I mentioned before, it came from this like necessity because I didn't have anything else. So it was I needed a home, I needed a place to go, and that was the home that I found that was able to kind of transport me from this physical pain to someplace else that just felt right, and it felt like I was able to. Yeah, it just felt right. It felt like home, and so that's that.
Do you remember the time when you wrote your first own song?
Yeah, I do.
Oh,
my first song, right? So, yeah, my own totally. So,
the first one.
yes, the very first one.
Yeah.
So I was 19, and I had gotten back from traveling. I was hitchhiking around the United States, and I was playing this, like folk punk music on the streets and whatever. And we were jamming a lot of like old American tunes and stuff like this. And it really inspired me. It gave me a lot of, I guess, just kind of like collaborative experience and whatever. But there was still kind of something missing because I felt like I had something to express, like that raw American storytelling through those old traditional songs was very, very. There's just so much pain there, and there's just so much beauty also, and the power of storytelling through songwriting really moved me. And so I went home when I was 19, back to Colorado, and I picked up my father's guitar, and I went into my room where I was staying at the time, and I just sat down and started writing a song. And it was, I actually recorded an entire album, which I have, and I will probably never, ever, ever show it to anybody ever. But it's a collection of songs that I wrote that were very raw, very intimate, very amateur. I went down to the hardware or to the store, and I bought like this little clip-on microphone, and that's like how everything is recorded. Yeah, so I was just kind of figuring it out when I was 19, but it took until I was 24 or 25 to actually start performing. So, yeah.
Together, Mother Nature needs us. Look at Jenny. He's the same as you, or a star.
Recently, you have released your album called Human.
Mm-hmm.
What is your favorite song? I'm dying to know that. Tell me.
Don't do that.
Come on. I want to know.
Okay, here it is. So yeah, we just released this album on December 16th,
Yeah.
and right at the end of the year. And this album is very, very, very special. Well, of course, like every artist, every album is special, but they're like because I'm writing about like really personal stuff. It's like a screenshot or an era of not only like the songs that I've compiled, but of moments that I can kind of reflect on and see the growth, see the change, see where I was and how far I've come in that window of time that it took to record the album. And this one particularly is extremely special to me because a lot has changed in our world since the pandemic, and this time in our history, changed me a lot as a human, and that's where the album title comes from, because it's very, it's just a lot of self-reflection and how my relationship with the world helps me kind of understand the world better, and all of its beauty in the darkness. So my favorite song, I think probably I can't pick favorites, but I think the one that really, really is very special to me is the last one, which is called What Goes Up, because when I was doing that traveling that I told you about before, there was a teacher who was very moving for me. He gave a lot of talks in the 1970s. His name is Ram Dass, and I was I use a fragment of one of his talks at the end of that song, and it's very powerful for me. So it's just like, yeah, it's. I was given permission by the foundation. He's no longer living, so I got permission from the foundation to be able to license the fragment of the talk, and it's just, it kind of brings everything together that is the culmination of human to a single point. And I'm not going to say what that point is. I will allow that to be a bit for interpretation for the listener, but yeah.
Are you going to play any gigs in the USA or Colorado?
Yes, of course. At some point, whenever I go home, I typically go home every holiday season, every Christmas, and I always play some concert when I go back in my hometown or in maybe in a surrounding town, which is always really nice because it's just lots of friends and family, and I always play solo. And I will at some point take it to the U.S., but it's not like this. I have to make it in the USA, go and live my American dream. It's just that I'm doing this right now, and right now I'm still kind of like, I mean, I'll be figuring it out for the rest of my life. But I'm here now, and I'm enjoying what I'm doing now, and.
What is the difference between American and Polish fans?
Yeah. What's very interesting is I haven't played in the United States enough to really know, and because of my background, whatever, I haven't been to many concerts in the United States to observe like how people are at concerts. And when I was in Poland, like the very first year that we started playing, I went to my first music festival. And the first music festival that I ever went to was Opener, and I was actually an artist playing there. So it was, I wasn't a guest. I was there as the artist performing with a band, the Feral Trees, that I'm a part of. And so it was, I don't know, I kind of have missed out on that, like, American fan, how they are in comparison to Polish fans. But I've asked people who have played a lot in the United States, which feels so funny for me because, like, I don't know my own people. But yeah, it's really hard to say because in Colorado, I know that Coloradans are really like, they love their folk music and they get really passionate about it. They'll be singing and dancing from this little experiences that I've had just in bars and stuff like this. But I guess I'll speak more about the Polish audience, is that Polish are super celebratory. And this is something that I really love about Polish. There's always this opportunity to celebrate. And when it comes to celebrating music, they're just very supportive and very excited and very loud, which I really like. I really love this. And I've played a lot in like the Polish countrysides, which are always the best. This is my favorite, is playing in the tiny little towns, like in somebody's house on the floor, and and just being able to be in contact with the people. I much prefer that than playing on a big stage somewhere. And yeah, it's always like joining in or clapping or whatever. And this album is a lot slower than some of the stuff that I've played in the past. But it's still like, there's a lot of passion for music within the Polish culture. And there's a lot of really, really intense music fans here in Poland it's just beautiful to see how passionate people are about music here.
Okay, what are your musical wishes and desires?
Just to not worry. Just to be absolutely, completely present in the moment. that's it. I don't wish for anything more or have any desires other than to just be able to not think about oh, is it going to be okay, or I better not. Can I curse? I better not mess up that. Better not mess up that that line or something like that. And when those thoughts go through my head, it just makes it worse, and it makes me make those mistakes that I was hoping that I wouldn't. And so I've been working over the years that I've been performing to really just be within it, and so that's my only wish and desire, is to be able to be fully present in that musical experience and that celebration of sound.
Okay, it was nice to have you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
And I hope your all dreams come true one day.
There we are.
Oh,
Thank you.
good to hear. Thank you so much. So don't forget to subscribe. Yeah. Thank you.
Widzów TeleVizornia. Okay, so we might. Okay. Dobrze, to będzie słodki.
Do tej kamery.
Dobrze, pewnie będzie więcej niż raz.
Zobaczysz, za pierwszym razem się uda.
Czekaj. Pozdrawiam wszystkich widzów. Jak?
TeleVizornia.
Kanał?
Nie, bez kanału.
Widzów?
Widzów z TeleVizorni.
Widzów TeleVizorni, okej.